All right, everybody, get your communicators ready. We're ready to talk about Picard Season 3, Episode 1, The Next Generation, after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and we start out Episode 1 of the new season of Picard, opening on Beverly Crusher, who is obviously in trouble. She's under attack. She's in a very small ship. It's obviously a Federation ship, but very small, and she has all kinds of cargo on board. We're not quite sure what she's doing, but we know that she's in trouble, and she's doing her best to fight her way out of it. When she finds that there is no other alternative, she sends a message to Picard on an encoded frequency, that a code that only he would know how to break. And in fact, back at Chateau Picard, Laris, who he has reconnected with after the last season, they were going to head for Chartok 4. And I'm not sure what's there, but that they were going to go there. I guess it's kind of the Niagara Falls of the 24th century. However it is, Laris is resigned to the fact that Picard has another adventure to go on to, and it's revealed that nobody has seen Beverly in about 20 years. Not Picard, not Riker, not anybody else on the Enterprise crew, not since basically the events of Nemesis. So there's a mystery there, and also exactly what was attacking Beverly and why. And we also find that there is a subplot going on of some kind of super weapon that uses warp tunneling or something like that in order to wreak havoc. And we find that there's an undercover operation going on by Starfleet to find out just exactly who got it and what they're going to do with it. Then we catch up with some of our friends, not the entire crew yet, but Picard did seek the aid of Riker, and the chemistry between them is as good as always. What started in the Nepenthe episode in Season 1 is now something that shows the fact that not only has Picard gotten older, but so has Riker. And as they go together on another adventure, they have certain things. There's a wonderful line in there where Riker says, between your hands, referring to Picard's arthritis, my knees, as long as we don't have to move or shoot, will be okay. I thought that was pretty good. We knew in the previews that they were going to make use of the Titan, and there was a captain by the name of Shaw that's on there. And it turns out that he's a nastier guy than even the previews showed us. We'll show a few things that he did that were kind of, well, let's just say, even if he weren't entertaining an admiral and another captain, it would be considered rude. Nevertheless, we have him pretty much set in. We meet 7 of 9, who we also know already is the first officer on the Titan. What we'd been told before isn't true, and this doesn't give anything away about the story, but the Titan was supposed to be a whole new ship, and it isn't actually. It is the same Titan that Riker commanded, but it's been under a major refit, and now they're classifying it as a Neo-Constitution class. It has some resemblance to the Constitution class, but probably a slightly larger saucer section, a little more detail here and there. It could have been one of the models that they had used for the Enterprise in Strange New Worlds, who knows. But however it is a nice looking ship, and certainly there must have been, from the original Matt Jeffries design, you can't really improve on that anyway. They've tried for years to come out with other starship designs where they put the nacelles underneath and put 3 or 4 of them together, or point them the other direction, or put the saucer on the bottom, or who knows what. But they never really have improved on the original Matt Jeffries design, and perhaps the producers here now decided, okay, we're just going to do that, and it works. In fact, there was a scene where Picard and Riker meet at Guinan's 10 Forward in San Francisco, and there are souvenirs for the upcoming Frontier Day, and several of them were reproductions of the Enterprise D, and there were a whole lot more of them than there were of the other ships. And they ask about it, and they say, well, there's not much demand for this particular design. And so that's kind of a poke at what most people think was the better looking starship of the group. We find Geordi's daughter on the Titan, who is the navigator, in kind of a Easter egg toward the young Sulu who was on the Enterprise B. The young LaForge, Sidney LaForge, was a little more happy to see Picard, although he didn't expect to see her on a ship, didn't know she was in Starfleet, or if he did, didn't know she was on that ship. A mention of Rachel Garrett. She has become a rather legendary captain. She was the captain of the Enterprise C and is mentioned there, probably one of the people they were going to give a speech about during the Frontier Day ceremonies, because, of course, she led the mission that helped out the Klingons against the Romulans and led to the making of peace between the Klingon Empire and the Federation. We catch up with Raffi and also what she's doing. A little bit disappointing at first, and then there are a couple of twists along the way. We also see the La Sirena, which was taken away in the alternate timeline, but still exists in the current timeline. So La Sirena is still around. So that's also something we will see here and there. We're not quite sure exactly why, even though Picard wanted to go and rescue Beverly, that she was adamant about not involving anyone, and especially not Starfleet. Now, she probably would be a little naive to think that Picard, at whatever he is in his 90s, would be able to handle that by himself. But he did tell Riker and eventually 7 and 9, and they were able to secure a starship to get there. Presumably a private vessel wouldn't work, even though the La Sirena had done similar things before, but perhaps the amount of armaments or whatever they would need would not be available in a civilian ship. So that's what I see on this so far. It kept us on the edge of our seat. It was great to see the interplay between Riker and Picard, a scene that's already been in the previews where they're on a shuttlecraft and talking about old times, and Picard says, "You're enjoying this, aren't you?" And Riker says, "Well, no, are you?" And it's not answered. Obviously they are. That's what they've spent their entire lives doing, and to be back in the saddle, as it were, is a nice thing to see, and probably a good thing for them. Not to say that it's not a good thing for the actors as well. An article I read the other day said that it's this whole idea at the beginning of Picard, Patrick Stewart did not want this to be a Next Generation reunion. And working with Jonathan Frakes again, he thought that perhaps he had been mistaken on that. And that's when they started with the ideas for Season 3 to make this finally the send-off that they deserve. So it's gotten off to a good start. It's not perfect, but it's certainly interesting, and it left us on a cliffhanger at the end of this. So we are very interested to find out just what the Starfleet conspiracy is this time. What is it about Captain Shaw that dislikes Riker so much that he took all the jazz out of the computer banks? What has Beverly been doing all this time, and why did she cut everybody else off? And where do the other characters come in? Where do we see Geordi and Worf? That's still to come. And I'm told there may be some unbilled previous characters to jump in as well. So might we see Guinan? Might we see Wesley? Might we see Tasha? So where it leaves us is that we do have a totally new show here, with the exception of Raffi and 7 of 9. There's nobody of the previous cast here, and it's just as well. They were all dealt with at the end of last season anyhow. But we're looking forward to them bringing on the rest of the Next Generation cast and see how it all pieces together. So I enjoyed it, and I hope that you will continue watching us as we provide reviews about that. You can subscribe by clicking on the circle N at the bottom of the screen, or going to the subscribe button on the page here on YouTube. And until next time, don't go far.